Good evening, folks. John, the firearms instructor. Welcome to our live. This evening, we are live on Facebook. We are live on my two Facebook channels, my personal and my business, and we are live on YouTube. And welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is John Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of a firearms training facility in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. Cape Coral is on the southwest side of Florida. We're between big cities would be Naples and Tampa. We're across the river from Fort Myers, and I'm born and raised here, and I specialize in you. I'm a firearms trainer that helps people who are new to shooting or maybe never shot before to become more proficient with a pistol. I'm here for people who have shot an awful lot and want to be more proficient or more accurate with a pistol. We started this YouTube journey many months ago. It's almost a year and a half now, probably two, to educate, motivate, and entertain. And if we do any of that this evening, I would ask you, please, if you can, hit that subscribe button, that bell icon, and that like. And every time we upload a video like this, you guys will be the first to know. And that's imperative to us because truly, without you, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this without you? We wouldn't want to do this without you. And speaking of that, I want to give a couple of shout outs this evening to some of our members. Now, membership to YouTube is nothing but a customer offering a tip, I would say, on a monthly basis to support our family owned business. And we have some anniversaries of some people like Natasha and her mom. Who have supported us from the very beginning there, and they are one of our members. Thank you. Natasha's mom, thank you very much. We have When Pigs Fly. When Pigs Fly, I was on my first or second. I think Natasha did the first one, and then When Pigs Fly did the second one. I don't know if he's back yet, but he is a member. And then we have Chris, who became a member a couple months, a month and a half ago. And I'd like to thank those guys very hard, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much for being members and supporting us. You want to be a member? It's very easy. Hit one of the membership programs. It makes it very easy and simple. We do have the super chats and we do have the super comments you can do as well. And those are available for you as well. Not that we're asking you to monetize us, but all this equipment and all the stuff we do, it takes time out of us, and we spend a lot more time than we should on this stuff. But I love it so much. It is something that I really enjoy. But if you find any entertainment, education, and motivation, please support us in any way you can. And that keep in mind, if you just share or tell somebody about it, that's awesome as well. Now, here's what I'll tell you. Two things. One, maintenance here. When you are on tonight, if you're watching it through YouTube live, you can put YTL, and that tells us YouTube live. But if you're watching it on Facebook, you can put Facebook. That's fine. If you're watching it replay, you could just put the word replay, and we'll know what that means as well. And that'll help us understand where all our traffic is coming from. If you're on this channel this evening, and you were here for the very first time, or you've been multiple times, please comment where you're from. That's going to help us out tremendously as well. And let me know if you have any questions this evening that we'll answer for you or anything else like that. We do always go at the end and have a Q&A. I try not to do too many questions during our presentation, but after the presentation, I always leave it open for the last 5 minutes or so to answer any questions. It doesn't have to be on topic. It can be a question about weapons. It can be a question about anything. That's exactly why we do this stuff, is for you guys. Motivate, educate, and entertain, and I hope we do that for you. Now, after that being said, I want you to, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to look down and make sure you are subscribed. I've ran into a little bit of a hiccup where I'm hearing people tell me that they subscribe and then all of a sudden they're unsubscribed. Now, I don't know if there's nefarious things going on, and I doubt it. It's maybe a computer glitch of some kind. But if you have the ability to subscribe, then you got unsubscribed somehow or another. And please hit that as many times as you can. Don't forget the bell icon because that helps us notify you when one of these lives pops up as well. Tonight we have a great live. The live itself is about gun storage. Like we go from safes to cars to homes, and it's a great presentation about what you're going to do. I want to ask what you're doing for the Super Bowl. You don't have to go into great details. And what's your team? Who's your team this time? I'm the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they're out, so I got to pick one. And sorry, Chris, I'm not picking Kansas City. Kansas City is Chris's team. I'm hoping that we get another champion beyond that, but not that I don't like Mahomes. He just and the Kelsey thing is a little too much this year. So for me, if you could tell me your team you want to win, and one last thing, what's your favorite Super Bowl snack? If you could tell me that as well, that would be awesome. What's my favorite Super Bowl snack? I think my wife, she makes this. She makes this dip, but it's hamburger, and I'm not supposed to like sour cream, but I'm starting to dig it. So it's a chip dip. What's that called, Heidi?
7-layer dip.
7-layer dip, and that has hamburger, it has refried beans, and it has sour cream, and you take a big chip and you dip it in there, and it is awesome. So that's one of my favorite, and then pepperoni and Ritz crackers. Not crackers, Ritz crackers. Gotta be Ritz crackers. Those are my two favorite. So let's look at comments real quick before we start. See who's here. All right. Natasha, I knew you were going to be there. Ralph Stevens. There we go. Chris Haas. How are you doing, Chris? Guacamole. What I tell you? If you don't know who Natasha is she's a fitness nut. She's a gun nut. Her favorite thing is what is it? Was it Natasha? It's firearms, guns, and gardening or something like that. No, training guns and gardening or something like that. And a couple weeks ago, she did a cookbook which she sells and everything else like that. And the front page was an avocado. And I told her point blank, no one should be eating avocados because they're disgusting. And her favorite Super Bowl snack is, and I quote, let's see what she's got here. I'm sure my favorite snack, I'm sure your favorite snack is she's telling me my favorite snack is guacamole with extra guacamole. Absolutely not. I've told you, Natasha, many times, honey bunny, you don't get this big eating green. It's steak and baked potatoes, sweetheart. Nothing green except green beans. Oh, yeah, that's what it is, Natasha. It's guns, gardening, and gym, gardening, and guns. That's what it is. Gym, gardenings, and guns. Miss Johnson will quack. She pepperoni and cheese. Yes, we knew that. Crackers too. Yeah. If it was cold, we maybe get a big bowl of chili going, but I don't know if it's going to be cold or not. So, all right, that's awesome. That's a good way to start that. All right. So let's go ahead and pull up this presentation for us. And that way I can get this thing racked for us for the gun storage. And I am going to dump me off of this and go to one screen. I don't know if I need to have my face on it every time. All right, so before we start to talk about gun storages, I want to talk about firearms and children's safety. A lot of times we're going to be talking this evening about firearms and firearm storages and where you want to put this gun or where it needs to be. Your paramount importance to make sure any weapon that shouldn't be loaded, if you don't feel comfortable with a gun loaded in your home, don't do it. And if you have a weapon that is loaded in the home, it must be stored away from any children or any unauthorized personnel touching it. And this is what some of these safety factors are. Now, in my opinion, if you're home by yourself and you have, let's look at this picture you see right here, this safe, it's got a 4-dot button here system. They make them with fingerprint mode, or this is push mode here. This should not be, the gun should not be in this in the middle of the night if you're by yourself. You don't want any hurdles. You don't want any hiccups at all. Really, a firearm storage like this is to put away when you have children in the home or somebody else. It allows you quick access to a loaded firearm without leaving it on the counter. Now, if you're senior and you have no children in your home, you don't want to get woke up in the middle of the night, 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and push the button wrong on this safe. Let me tell you about safes. Any of these safes that have a button push or anything else, or um, fingerprint acquisitions, all that stuff works great and wonderful when you're not in high stress. But when you're in stress, you don't need it, because you push the button wrong on this and put the code in twice wrong, it's going to give you 1 minute of hold on until it resets, and then you could go put the safe number in there. And that's something you do not want. Most of these safes will have some kind of key that you can use to open it with a key. So this is my list of the top firearm storage ideas, where to keep them safe and ready. And when I'm talking ready, I mean ready to rock and roll. That means loaded, one in the chamber. A lot of people don't think you need a loaded gun in your home until you absolutely need it. But in a high stress situation, you're going to fall back to your weakest training. And that weakest training could be a problematic thing for you if you haven't worked getting it out of the safe or anything else, especially in low light conditions or under a bunch of high stress. Remember, high stress puts people in a weird situation, makes them do other stuff that you don't even really think about, puts you in tunnel vision, makes your fingers and your thumbs not work exactly as right. I want you to try this sometime or another. Go ahead, wet your hands, open the refrigerator, grab some ice, fill the sink full of ice, put water in the sink. Now I want you to take your hands and I want you to stick them in there. And I want to give yourself 2 to 4 minutes. And that's going to be hard, but this is a good test for you. Now that your hands are freaking cold, take the gun out and try to rack it, or try to load the magazine, or try to drop the slide, or do anything else like that. And you'll feel how difficult it is with numb hands. And this is what tensely happens to people when they get in a high stress situation. So we want to make sure we can manipulate the whole thing. All right, so let's go to the first one. All right, top firearms storage ideas, biometric safes. Now, these are fingerprint use safes. Now, I did a picture of one that has a button push. I'm not that crazy about the fingerprint recognition technology. They're working very hard on it, but this is very popular. Most people come in here to the store and they ask for a fingerprint recognition safe. In other words, you put your fingerprint on it, you push the button, and it opens up. Well, the problem with that is that's great and wonderful. Again, not in a high stress situation, but could you imagine if you had blood on your hands, or you had makeup on, or something else is going down? And remember, the whole fingerprint thing was on the cell phones for many years. I know that's many years ago, but how many of us took that fingerprint technology off our cell phone instantly because it never worked half the time, and you had to reset the buttons all the time? So the biometric system is getting better and better. But the one you see I'm showing you here now, this is just a safe I'm showing you. Bulldog, there's a lot of companies that make these. And what you see there is a numerals that you push in an order that you set. So in other words, if you would tuck your pinky finger first, and then your center finger, and then your third finger, and then did that in an order that you wanted to set it at, that then it would pop open. Now they make these singles, they make these doubles, they make these available that you can stick in your car or your truck, and it makes it a good, safe, and reliable thing. And these are thick metal pieces. They're not chintzy. A lot of people take these and put these next to the bed when you have children, so you could have the loaded firearm in there and be able to touch the buttons and it pops open instantly. Obviously, there's a key machine there as well. Only problem I see with some of these is they make a beep noise every time you touch one of those buttons. So you can imagine 4 o'clock in the morning, you heard a big crashing noise, and you go to push the button on the safe, and it goes beep, 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 beep. At that point in time, it's going to seem like you're screaming out those beep noises. So it's kind of one of those things I think there are a couple of manufacturers that allow you to shut that beep off. But the vaults that you see here, single or double vaults, are pretty nice. This can be embedded into a cabinet of any kind. It can be bolted down as well. These are mostly for handguns or revolvers, not for larger weapons at all. But one of those biometric safes or a fingerprint safe is probably one of the best options to keep the kids out of it. Because keep in mind, even if they put the code in more than once wrong, it's going to time out. And that's the only problem I have with any kind of safe. Once it times out, you got 1 minute to wait before it kicks back on. That's why that key needs to be close and a viable option. So even if they have fingerprints or whatever you want to push button, they make sure it has a key entry as well. All right, so this is getting very, very popular, what they call stealth shelves or hidden shelves in the area. And these are designed to disguise. Now, this isn't a lockable system, but it's a system that is faux safe. You normally have some kind of magnet mechanism that turns these things open, and it flops open just like you see there. Now, people think about that all the time, and they're sitting here in the store and they're always thinking about buying that first piece. And I always tell them, hey, first piece is good, second piece is better, third piece is getting where you need to be. Because if you kind of think about this more than anything else, majority of you guys right now listening to this live, where's your firearm today? Is it on your side? Is it in your pocket? Is it in your bedroom dresser? What happens if someone throws a brick through the front window, the front door, and now you got to run to go get your gun? There should be weapons throughout the house. You need to fight yourself to the safe zone. And I consider most people's safe zone is your master bedroom, maybe even your master bath, locking the doors as you go, and making sure you can fight to that area. That's your safest containment area you could be in. I understand there's kids in the home and you've got to work that out, but for just you being home, Florida is a will issue state. Florida is what I would consider a castle doctrine state as well. So you are allowed to protect yourself inside your home, but you want to do everything you can to make it the easiest way to get through it. And when they break into your home, they're already a threat. When they break through your bedroom door, they're a double threat. And when they start kicking on that bathroom door, that makes them a third threat. And you've done everything possible to protect yourself, and they kept coming. So having something available in most every room. Now, I've got a buddy of mine who's got one in every room, one in every little deal, revolvers, semi-automatics, rifles. I don't know if you need to get that crazy, but, having it is better than wishing you had it. And that's the key. So these hidden safes, they make hidden wall safes. They make hidden shelves. They make cabinets that have this. I know a real estate buddy of mine that has a full TV rack safe. And when you push the button, it pops open, and there are a bunch of rifles and everything in there. And you would not even know that thing was a gun safe at all. So the hidden gun shelves are a pretty cool little feature for you. All right. Now, I've been to the gun show a couple times and seen these, but they make clocks like this. They make all kinds of stuff that you could have throughout your house. So, this is another one that I have in some of the vehicles that we have here, because if you kind of think about this, if we're going someplace where I cannot take my firearm, you don't want to just take your firearm off and just throw it in something. you want to have it locked up because you're legally responsible for that firearm. If you leave it unattended and it's being stolen and used in a crime, you could be punished for that because you left your gun unattended. These little cable lock systems, that cable you see popping out of there, will go underneath the seat of your car. It makes it very easy for you to lock up your gun and get it securely. Now, do you want to have that in your car when you're traveling around and you need to protect yourself? Absolutely not. But if let's say we're going to the beach for the day and now we've taken our gun off and we don't want to leave our gun inside of the car because your car is not really a lock box. And because of the way things are, there's hardly anything in the car that locks anymore. The lobbyists have stopped the glove box lock and they've stopped all that stuff. So this would give you a lockbox. You could put your gun and any valuables that you had and make it secure. Now, can a bad guy bring a cable and cut that lock and pop it? Yeah, of course they can. But you've done what you could do to keep your weapon away from unauthorized hands. And that's the most important thing. Even if you don't get in trouble, think about how guilty you would feel if some kid broke into your car and stole your firearm because you left it unattended. And and he goes out and does something dangerous with it, and you have to deal with that the rest of your life. I mean, because you did something silly. So these small lockable boxes you're looking at, I mean, we have these here at the store. They're inexpensive, but they do give you the ability to lock something up and because pretty much unless you have a special car with a special area, most of them are not going to have any lockable boxes in there. And this gives you the lockable box. Pretty reasonable product there. Now, that's kind of small. It's designed for one pistol. It's not really designed for, multiple pistols. It could be used for small carry gun or pocket gun, revolver of some kind. Definitely could be. These actually, I've seen these before with the cable system that you see here, or you can actually, there's holes in the bottom of the plate there that you could actually screw it into a cabinet of some kind if you wanted to as well. It just keeps the gun secure without having somebody get it that's not supposed to. All right, so when we start talking about safes and things like that, there's a lot of neat things you can get that'll give you more room. Pistol racks are a neat little thing that we have here at the store that holds a gun up, but these are designed to be put into a rifle safe. When that rifle safe is there, it allows you to hang a bunch of pistols. There's a lot of room there because you've got a shelf there, and that shelf can hang each pistol, and you just put it right through the barrel itself. There, it keeps the pistol organized, easy accessible, in a safe or a cabinet. I'm not sure if I would do this in a personal cabinet unless it was the one that you knew exactly what you were going to go to in a desperate situation. Remember, staging weapons through the home is not a bad idea. It does give you the ability to fight your way to a safe zone. But this really is a picture of an internal safe thing, and it goes up on the racks there. But you see, that's got 4 pistols there, 3 pistols and a revolver real close together. So you could really probably stack a bunch of them in there if you wanted to. Anytime you have a gun in a safe, in a cabinet or anything else, you got to be careful of a couple different things. Obviously, safety first. But there are moisture problems you have when you don't touch them all the time, and you want to make sure that you always watch and find and look and make sure no one else has found them. That's the key thing there. These things like this are really designed for safes that are locked up already compared to a cabinet or something that would be just there to grab the weapon. All right. Old school. I mean, I had one of these when I was a kid. I was 18, maybe 17, 16. I don't remember. Dad and Mom went out and bought me one of these. They are a gun cabinet, ideal for long guns such as rifles and shotguns. These cabinets provide some security and visible storage. They're more for beauty purposes than anything else. It helps you keep track of your firearms because your collection will be out in front of you. This is old school. I mean, I wanted to mention it because it is something better than hanging a rifle or a shotgun in the corner and just waiting for the bad guy to come. Because when they, you know, could they break the glass? Obviously, these things all have locks on them. The lock is not going to help. If someone wants them, they're going to get them. It doesn't matter what kind of safe it is or anything else like that. If they want them, they're going to get them. But this gun cabinets like this are very, very popular in the past. I'm not saying they're much popular now. It just doesn't. People aren't doing it as much. But I still like the concept of it, especially in a man's cave or an office of some kind. According where you are. That, a couple deer heads and a hog head and a few turkeys that are on the wall that nice bear rug on the ground. I mean, it goes right in there. It goes right in there. It looks good. Um, Again, I'm not sure pistols are going to work at the best in there, but you can get 4 to 6 rifles in there, and that looks really nice. Again, here we go with something that's out in the open like that. That if someone did break into your home, they are not hidden and they're locked up, but they're not really locked up because the glass could be easily broken. So I would not recommend having something like this and having weapons loaded in them. So they do make gun display cases. This is kind of one of those things where when you got something that's really fancy and you want to display it under glass or anything else, like to showcase your firearms while keeping them locked and concealed. And a lot of the stuff has good locks on them and everything, and it gives you an aesthetic view of it, but keeping it locked away as well. They make a bunch of this stuff like that, especially when you get specialty robbers. I mean, these are nice peacemakers here that are beautiful with the ivory and stuff like that, and it's in a wooden case that locks up. So that's kind of a good little display piece you could put yourself into. I've seen guys do this with their AR-15s and put them underneath glass as well. Unfortunately, a lot of these things like these, the fancy guns that have maybe sentimental value or they are some kind of antique, I'm not sure if these would be the ones you'd want to pull out in a defensive situation. Keep in mind, if you ever use your firearm in a defensive situation, most likely that weapon will be confiscated until the trial is over, and then they deem it safe to give it back. So that's kind of one of those things that don't want to use your peacemaker that's got the great sentimental value, because it's going to be thrown on a shelf in the sheriff's department for forever and a day, and it ain't going to be taken care of. So probably not the best thing to grab. But they do make display cases that have safety locks on them, and they are glass that you can see through. And most people that I know are not going to have high end pieces enough to have them on a display case like that. This is a cool one. A lot of times with truck owners, it's a hard thing to find a place to put a gun. And realistically, this is designed to go next to the leg of your seat. It has a push button. It pops open, and this allows the gun to be loaded inside your vehicle, secure, and it pops open, ready to go, and you don't have any problems in the world. A vehicle gun safe for those who need transportation of a firearm safely. These safes provide secure storage solutions for your vehicle, preventing theft and unauthorized access. Pretty cool, pretty neat, a little expensive, but when you think about what a firearm costs versus this, it does give you that quick access that you need, and it makes it so much easier for you. Florida doesn't require you to lock a gun up. They require your gun to be securely encased. If you don't have your concealed and you have it in your car, and then if you have your concealed, they want it to be on your body or concealed, which means on or about your body, hidden out of ordinary sight. Now, they have not defined what the people that are covering the constitutional carry need to do, but I would think that's the same thing with the constitutional carry people in Florida. It's going to need to be concealed on your body, and it cannot be seen. Florida doesn't have open carry. If you're in an open carry state, it may change a little bit, but each law and regulation is different. You need to check your laws and regulations in every state you travel in and make sure these gun safes are legal in your state that you're in. That's why it's so important if you're going to carry a gun travel that you get a concealed carry. Like Florida, because Florida gives a non-resident 30 states they can carry concealed in. A Florida resident is going to get 36 states they can carry concealed in. So understand the laws and regulations of vehicle gun storage is your responsibility only. You can go by what someone says. You can't go by the internet at all because the internet is not updated every day. So you need to verify with who? Verify with the cop. But what cop are you asking? How long has that cop been in the state? We live in a transient state here in Florida. Yes, five deputy sheriffs in Florida. Do we have a 3-step rule in Florida? And most of them are going to tell you yes. And we haven't had 3-step rule in Florida for 20 years. So I would tell you need to double verify with everywhere you can before you listen to anything from the internet, because a lot of that stuff is not updated every day. That's why the United States Concealed Carry Association, they have a full staff that updates all the gun laws on a regular basis. So if you become a member of the United States Concealed Carry Association, they have a reciprocity app that goes on your phone, and that phone app will give you the laws and regulations of every state. That includes where a gun needs to be, where it can't be, how to store it, how to travel with it, and everything else like that. It's a great opportunity for you. I'll give you a link here in a little bit to show you what you can look at. The United States Concealed Carry Association and Delta Defense are a concealed carry insurance company that I'd highly recommend you look at if you plan to carry. All right. So this is kind of new thing they've got nowadays. These are lockable wall mount locks. Now, I saw this at a show a while back, and I thought it was pretty cool. They make it where it hangs on the wall, the rifle is loaded, push a few buttons, and the safe pops open, gives you access to the rifle. Instead of having it in a safe, it's on a wall, maybe in a closet or something like that, that gives you quick acquisition to it really quick. Quick access to your firearm while keeping them secure, locked against the wall. Ensure both accessibility and safety. This is kind of cool. There's a lot of different manufacturers that have these. The Shot Lock product that I saw here, this was at one of the shows. I thought it was pretty cool. It had a key lock system and it had a button lock system. And when you button lock, popped it open, bam, it was right in your hand, ready to rock. So it was pretty cool. And it kept ability to have accessibility to it, but it kept it safe as well, so no children or nobody could get into access to it. You bolt it to the wall, you close it up, set the key lock system. It's a 4-digit or 6-digit code. And again, in a high-stress situation, you're better off using the key access than the buttons. But once you start using those buttons on a regular basis, you probably could do it with your eyes closed and get the gun ready to rock and roll. Now, I will tell you, in my opinion, your best home defense weapon is the one you have. And that means if it's going to be a rifle, it's going to be a rifle. It's going to be a pistol, it's going to be a pistol. Shotgun. But I can tell you, between rifle, shotgun, and handgun's probably the easiest gun to access your whole home with, because you could transition right or left by just leaning. It's hard to transition right or left with a rifle. If you're right-handed, you're going to need to put the weapon on your left shoulder, and then you have to use your left eye to work through that weapon, and it becomes a little more challenging for you. But having weapons through the house to be able to protect yourself is probably the easiest thing to do. And each one of these storage units I'm giving you are, I should have called this firearm safes, but storage units that each one of these so far you've seen, except for the display case and maybe the actual um, gun cabinet. The weapons all could have been loaded at this point in time. All could have been loaded because they were in some kind of position where you and you only could get to them. All right, so let's go to the next one. Well, this is getting a little much here, but check this out. Gun vaults. This gun vault rooms. Now, a lot of people are building houses now. A lot of people are building safe rooms and everything else like this. But this is for the serious enthusiast. This is a dedicated room that offers ample space to get any kind of pistol and rifle in there. The manufacturers make these doors that can be installed in what they do is they double wall these units here. They brick all the way up to both sides of it, and they make a standard room that you can't break in or cut through, and it's your room. And I've seen these doors where they look just like a regular door. They're not like this, where this is you walk in the room, you know this is a safe, but they make some hidden safes that actually use a regular door. When you open it up, there's a door behind the door. So it's kind of a cool little deal there. But it does give you the ability to have a larger space. Now, my daddy told me a long time ago, son, don't ever buy a big jewelry case. I said, why is that, Dad? He said, because she's going to want you to fill it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if your husband comes home, ladies, with a big door like this, make sure he comes sees me because he's going to want to fill that room. Now, most of the ladies I know shoot, so they're going to want to fill the room too. But this does give you the ability to have that safe room, the vault room, if you build the right area. Um, little much for some, but it is a viable thing you could do. You could actually build a wall around a safe pretty easy and simple. My buddy did that underneath one of his stairs. He actually had a second story, and he actually built himself a little room there underneath the stairs that he double walled and double put in there, and just looked like a regular wall. He had a hidden door, and that you were able to go in there. And it's kind of funky because you had to bend down to get to certain spots, but he had, I don't know, 15, 20 rifles. He had a couple different spots in there. He tried to call it his man room, but there wasn't a lot of space in there for, you put me and him in there and all those weapons, there wasn't much more space than that. But they were secure and no one knew it was there. Well, now you guys all know it's there, but you don't know who he is. So that kind of gave you the ability to access him. All right, so gun safes accessories. There's a lot of stuff you could add to a gun safe. The gun safe itself, if you look at the secure it here on the front side, which I think is kind of a cool little feature, it's sort of like my wife has this thing on her door that holds all these shoes. It has shoe racks, right? And she has all this stuff. And that's kind of what this is, but it's for firearms. It's for pistols, and you just put them in there. Most of your safes have some kind of carpet in there, and they make Velcro holsters that you can put a weapon in and stick it to the carpet itself. There are humidifiers and things like that you can get. You can get lights. There are a ton of stuff you can buy that make your safe more attractive and ability that you do enhance enhance what you're going to do with it. This system here that secure it looks pretty cool. There's that shelf thing I was telling you about. With it's got the wires there holding the pistols themselves. Most of your safes that are 15 guns or better have a couple shelves in it, maybe a separated shelf for long guns and pistols. But a lot of times that secure it idea gives you a good idea because you can actually put the guns in there, maybe extra magazines and things like that. And don't forget, humidity is one of the challenges of most firearms because of the metals and the safe itself is really not waterproof. You guys all found that out during the hurricane. Safes aren't waterproof. Trying to keep the moisture out the best you can is a key thing. Most of your safes have some kind of humidifier you can add, but they make battery powered humidifier. You don't have to get too electrical as well. So these are all in special blue lights. We have lights here at our range all the time when we do these videos. My back wall is lit up and everything else, like the LEDs. It's kind of just customize it the best way you can. It's pretty cool. So gun safes and accessories are a really important part of what you're looking for. You can make it your own at that point in time. All right, so I just wanted to show you this rifle safe that I found on the internet. I thought it was pretty cool because this kind of reminds me of the ones we have here at the store. My old one at the house, it had shelves like this, separate shelves. It had some rifles. It had areas for jewelry and things like that. But check out the wall. Check out the door, the internal door, how they had the Velcro pieces there to put weapons on there for quick acquisition. That's the cool thing. Rifle safes keep children and unauthorized people from smashing and grabbing valuables. Right, you lock them up every night. That's a kind of a cool thing. There's a lot of manufacturers. They have a lot of from very cheap metal all the way up to the high end stuff. I can tell you once it gets over 1200 or 1300 degrees, pretty much any polymer frame weapon is going to be gone anyways. So I wouldn't be too concerned about fireproof as much as I would be concerned about keeping it out of the hands of unauthorized people like children. And that's the cool thing. And these have some major bolt lugs there if you look at those. Where to buy a safe? That's all up to you guys. I mean, be honest with you. I bought the secondary safe, the one on my behind me here. I bought one of these from, I think I bought it at Sam's or Bass Pro. I think I bought one at Bass Pro, and I bought one on the internet. Facebook. It was a gun store going out of business, and I was able to go down there and pick it up for a couple $100. And they have electronics. They have the combination. I have a combination one, and I have an electronic one, and you push the buttons, and both of them open up. Now, the only problem I've ever had with the electronic one was sooner or later the battery was going to go dead. Now, it does give you some warnings. It gives you some beeps and everything else like that. And most of these all taking the 9-volt battery, which lasts forever. But I had to actually call the manufacturer, and they gave me ability to access the one to get the battery in there. But the combination one has never failed me. I've got a lock for it as well. I get a key for it, but I've never had really an issue with it. The right left thing. Once you get it, once you've got it, it's pretty simple and easy. Gun safes are the greatest thing in the world, but they're a pain in the butt, man, because they are heavy. Even the smallest safe at all, the concrete-filled bottoms, they are concrete-filled sides, and they can weigh up to 800-900 pounds, and you're not moving that yourself. And if some guy's able to grab that and take it away, you probably don't want to mess with him anyways. So, do your homework on that. I mean, Bass Pro Shop, a lot of those places, Coons Locksmith here in Lee County. I can tell you that I have recommended many times that people go to Walmart. I know it's a bad word, but Walmart has free delivery. So that safe can be bought and delivered right to your house. Now they're not going to take it inside and lock it down and do all that stuff for you, but at least they're going to get it to the garage door. And the cool thing about that, once you got that there and you have tile floors or anything else like that, if you put one of these safes on a piece of cardboard, which we do it here at the shop all the time, that thing will slide directly on any kind of thing because it's on carpet or cardboard. It will slide where you need to go. Once you've got it down and you lock them down with some red bolts, no one's getting in that thing. Now, taking them upstairs and things like that is going to be a little more challenging for you. But I would keep all safes internal walls. Do not put them in the garage. It's a bad idea. Two folds, easy access. Garage door is not a solve, right? Unless you're locking your garage door from the inside with some kind of other lock, those garage door openers are very easily reran by the guys taking computers, and they can pop open because the frequency on that garage door is the same frequency on a garage door 3 cars down. And that's just the way it is. I've had a buddy who was a locksmith, excuse me. He was a locksmith, and I told him about such and such. And I somehow or another, I bought a swag, or whatever they're called, lock at the at Home Depot, and I lost the key or something like that. And he goes, "Oh, there are only 5 keys to those things. They just keep putting them over and over and over again." And he brought me a set of keys for that thing. We had that at hunting camp, and I was able to open it right up because I lost the key. So keep in mind, if you get anything like that, you want to make sure that, like especially the garage door, that you lock it from the inside, especially if you're traveling a lot, because that garage door opener can be rigged to open just by putting the right code in from the distance. So, and secondary thing, there's moisture in the garage. That's why the air condition is outside and not in. And then we get that moisture, it's going to get into the safe. And then when it gets in the safe, it's going to cause premature rusting, which is a bad idea. And if the garage door is open everyone can see the safe in the garage. So it's a bad place to put it. I know it's easier to get it there than it is to get it anywhere else, but definitely you do not want to put it in the garage. Bad idea. Bad idea. All right, let's go here. All right, that concludes our list of the must-try gun storage solutions. Responsible firearm ownership extends beyond acquisition. It's very important to practice safe storage to prevent accidental and unauthorized access. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe to our channel for more informative videos just like this. All right, let's get out of this thing, get back to you guys. Hit here. Question here, ready? Let's at this stage. There I am. Oh, there I am. Beautiful me. Okay. So, that being said, where are you guys storing your weapons tonight? Now, let's talk about this real quick. I want to reiterate, no firearm should be left unattended for a child or any unauthorized person to use it, look at it, or see it. And that's kind of what I would highly recommend that you keep it away from children. Now, should we keep a firearm secretive and never tell a child about it? Absolutely not. I think you should introduce children to shooting as soon as you can and in a safe manner, because the more we were told don't touch it, the more we wanted to touch it. So, the world is not educating our children the right way when it comes to firearm and firearm safety. And you need to do that as parents as much as possible. Saying that, we have kids shootouts here all the time. We educate children. We do firearms training for children. we would love to help you educate your children on that as well. We have a couple of comments here we're going to go to. So let's see what we got here. All right. Hello from Wilmington, Vermont. Hello, Jim. How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you. All right, so let's go up here real quick. So Natasha, got her. Chris, I got you. Ralph Stevens, got you. Watching from YouTube, thank you, Chris. Guacamole Girl, Natasha, thank you. Red and gold, tell him. I knew you were going to say something, Chris. Chris is a Chiefs fan. Even through all that crap he went through, he's a Chiefs fan. I think they're going to do well this year. I think they're going to get another one. All right, so Natasha just got a Winchester safe from Tractor Supply. Great price. Hey, there we go, Natasha. How'd you get it home, honey? Thank God I'm strong and wasn't getting it into the house. How'd you get it to your house, though? Did you borrow a truck, or did you rent a truck? Or tell me the story about that. I didn't know anything about that. $350. That's what's that? 12 guns? That 12 gun safe? That's awesome. Oh, Wilmington, Vermont. Home of the Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I'm not Wilmington, but Vermont, right? Mark J. Well, thank you, Mark. Hello, buddy. How are you? Jen, hi back. Going to be in Orlando at the end of the month. Jim, you're going to be in Orlando. That's about a couple hours, maybe 3 hours from us. Hoping to drive down and check your place out. Jim, you make it here, buddy. You get free range time from me, okay, buddy? And I'll let you rent a gun or two. You can have some fun. Got to pay for the ammo, buddy. Got to pay for the ammo, but you're going to make that trip all the way down. Well, maybe take a picture or two. Maybe do a little bit of, give you a little bit of a free advice on how to shoot a pistol and things like that. It's a date. I'll make it for you. Make sure you let me know when you're going to be in town, and I'll make sure I'm here. I'm normally here Monday through Saturday, almost all days, so we can get that thing set for us, Jim. You let me know, pal. I would love to have you, kid. I'd love to. Orlando, that it should be pretty nice there, to be honest with you. We've been having a little bit of rain, but it hasn't been bad. It's been, we get the cold in the morning, and then when I say cold, I'm talking like we had 50s today, 50s, high 50s. Then it got up to, somewhere around the 70s, 78, 79. And then it flopped right back down this evening, back into the 60s. It'll cool all the way down again. But in Orlando, it's a little bit out of the way of the water and out of the way of the wind, and it'll be a little cooler there because it's in the center of Florida. I hope you're going to Disney or something like that. That'd be awesome. It's a good place. Hope you bring your wallet because it's expensive. It is expensive. Jim? Okay, Miss Johnson's probably 70s right here. We're going to do our best. Jim said he's going to do his best to make it down there. What's the weather like in February in your area? Probably in the 70s. Yeah, Miss Johnson's right. She's always right. She always tells me that. I have to agree with her. She's always right. Well, yeah, she did tell Jim she had some cold days. But for 70s for us, we stay out of the water at 70s, I'll tell you that. I can't remember enough I can't recommend enough using vapor, corrosion, inhalers in your gun safe. Ralph Stevens, great tip, buddy. Great tip. Yeah, I mean, you know what's happening nowadays with guns? Guns are made of alloys now. They're not made really of a steel piece. So they rust a little weird. If they're going to rust at all, it's where the fingerprints and the things are touching. That's why we always recommend, guys, when you get done shooting, if you do anything at all, make sure you wipe down your fingerprints off the gun. So the oils from your hands will cut into the finish of that metal, and it will leave and embed those fingerprints into your hands. And you always want to make sure that you try to clean your weapon as much as you can. You can bore snake it. I've done a couple of videos on the bore snakes. They work really well. But once in a while, you got to take the whole gun apart. Ralph is right. Those corrosion inhibitors. A lot of times, guys, if you can't find those, hit the fishing aisle. The fishing aisle has a lot of that stuff because the hooks and things like that get they rust up pretty well as well. Let's see what Chris has to say. Chris has a couple questions. First, tips on long-term storage and prep recommended for storing a firearm in a car in Florida in the heat. You know what? The deal about how much are we storing it? That's the key thing. A gun in a car in Florida should be in the car in Florida when you're not supposed to be in the spot, right? You shouldn't never, ever, ever have a car gun. I know it seems like that's what everyone thinks you should have as a car gun, but that's leaving a gun unattended in a car, and that becomes a little more challenging to you got to take it in and out every time. But the heat in Florida really does not affect anything realistically more than the gun's going to get hot. The ammo's not going to explode. It's not going to blow up. It's not going to do anything like that. What causes a bullet to travel is expansion in gas. And even when you catch a bullet on fire, it's not going to go and shoot across the room. It's just going to explode. And normally what happens when the house has weapons in it, the firemen don't go in for the purpose of the explosion. Now, because what happens, the pressure builds the bullet up to travel and speed. And it just releases. Now, as far as long-term storage, let's say, for instance, we are taking a rifle and we're putting it away. You can do a couple different things. They make a silicone sock, Chris. Very simple. You slide your rifle in or your pistol or your shotgun in, and that silicone stock has some silicate in it. And when you put it in there, it makes it pretty well. You can actually make your own by taking a cheap gun sack of any kind, like a gun safe, and spray some oil inside that and stick it in there. Again, over oiling a weapon, like anything else, will gather dirt as well. So you want to make sure if you're going to do that, you want a silicone socket because that really is tight to the gun. I hope I answered your questions for you. Jim, awesome. Sounds good. I hope so, brother. I hope you come. Natasha borrowed her brother's truck. Hope you borrowed your brother to help you get that damn thing. You didn't call me, so obviously you didn't need me. And then Jim required back. That would be good. I'm new to guns, as well as I would greatly appreciate it. Me too, buddy. I love meeting all my subscribers. What's funny is this weekend. This weekend we had a gun show here in Fort Myers. We have our local gun show. And, I have my signs up and I have the picture of my family and we're family-owned business. And, I always kind of watch people's eyes. They kind of look at the sign and they look back at my face and I look back at the sign and yeah, that's me. That's me. Well, I was there and then some guy goes, Mr. Johnson. I go, hey, how are you, sir? I'm thinking maybe I'm new at the store or something like that. He said, I just subscribed to your channel. I said, really? I said, yeah. He said, I didn't know you lived in Lee County. I said, yeah. This is my home area here. He said, I've been watching your videos for a while. I finally subscribed. And I said, I'm glad you did that. And he ended up buying a pistol and some other stuff. It just amazes me when we're out somewhere and someone recognizes me from YouTube, which is kind of it's kind of a cool little deal, my wife always says I can't go anywhere without someone knowing me. I've been born and raised here. I'm 55. How old am I, Heidi? I'm 56. 56 years old, lived here all my life, know a bunch of people. And at that point in time, it's, you know, when we go somewhere and someone says they know me, it's kind of one of those deals. But when someone recognizes you from YouTube, it's pretty cool. And when you get someone that request, had a beautiful one last week, a young lady. She it was kind of made me choke up a little bit. She said I reminded her of her father, who she lost 25 years ago, and that he wanted her to shoot, and one of the things she never wanted to do was shoot. And now that she found my channel, she physically watches all my videos, and now she's beginning to shoot. And it kind of like, oh man, it kind of touched me when she said that, because it kind of like was, you're like my father, and I was like, oh my God, I was so touched about how she did that. And when you do this stuff and you start touching people and you see your results, when you take a person who's new to shooting, like Chris is a great example. Natasha's a great example. Natasha was from New Jersey. Shooting was not something that was in her wheelhouse. And this girl's she's got it deep now. There ain't no taking guns from her. She's been doing it. And Chris, he very little knowledge of that. And from taking that to the first piece, the second piece, the third piece, those are all things that are those why we do this. Motivate, educate, and entertain. This is all we do. This is why we do it. And to have great people like you, that's the awesome thing. Danny is a great guy. He always calls me Mr. Johnson. Danny is our main man. He has found his home here. And Mr. Danny every Tuesday comes and he cleans this place like it's his own, and he's a big asset to me. And when I need something, he's there to get it for me. And I appreciate you, Danny Schultz. You are my hero, my friend. And he works for the county, and he works for the paramedics and helping them store and get those units back up. Works some crazy hours. Took me to a really nice, what do we call it? I'm gonna call it. It wasn't Mexican. It was Puerto Rican. We had eggs and steak. It was pretty awesome. It was a pretty awesome place there. Jim, thank you very much, buddy. Jim became a member. Shout out to Jimmy boy. Thank you, Jim, for the membership. We appreciate Cuban. Hey, yeah, Danny it was Cuban restaurant, and we had plantains, and we had rice, and we had some skirt steak that would knock your socks off, man. And it was awesome. And I came back to the office, and I curled up in my office, and I went to sleep. I was so stuffed. It was the greatest day. It was a Saturday. I had Jacob working. I went over there and I finished it up. All right. Thank you, Mr. Jim, for the membership. We appreciate that very much, buddy. You are the best. When you get closer to your time, go ahead and send me an email or text me. And my phone number is directly on any of the stuff here. Or you could just look through our website and get that information as well. Let us know when you're going to be in town or when you think you're coming, and we'll try to set something for you, buddy. That way we want to make sure that we're here for you. Not that we have to spend 4 hours or 5 hours shooting, but at least you could have some fun here while we're doing it. Maybe we'll take some videos and things like that. All right. Thank you, Jim. Jim enjoys the videos. We appreciate you saying that, Jim. We do it for you guys anyways. That's the most important thing. Yeah, and Chris says, yep, Cuban food will do that for you. It'll put you to sleep, no questions asked. I never was a plantain person. He got me eating that plantain. Those were pretty good. I didn't even know what a plantain was until he showed me. But it was, I don't know if you would call it, maybe they were fried. I don't know if they weren't fried because they're soft, but they were cooked really good. The cooks there know exactly what they're doing. It's pretty awesome. All right, so we're over an hour here. I want to go up top, say hello and goodbye to everybody real quick. And then obviously if you have any kind of Any ideas or anything you want us to do a video or anything on? Lately, what's been happening is people have been asking or having problems with something, and we've been popping videos for those things because, for us, again, motivate, educate, and entertain. If you guys got a problem, I want to help solve it. That's what I am. I'm a problem solver. I want to get you guys having fun and not leaving the range disappointed in your shooting. Mr. Danny here today, he was telling me on Saturday he was stacking them like a champ, man. And he kept saying, he heard that Mr. Johnson, he said, Mr. Johnson says, keep a gun level gun shoots level. And he's back there. And Mr. Danny's not no high-end guy. Mr. Danny's shooting a high point. And if I put Mr. Danny against any person with that high point, he's shooting it like a champ, man. It's flat, dark earth, though. But he's shooting well, and he loves it. So that's kind of cool. All right, so here, let's go. Goodbye. Natasha's mom. Hello, Natasha's mom. Mommy, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good. Okay, babe? Thank you very much for being loyal and being there every week to see me. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Chris, as always, my friend, thank you very much, and I hope your team wins this weekend. Even though I'm not crazy about Kansas City, I have a good opportunity. I think they're going to do well. Ralph Stevens, you're the best, my friend. I'm glad you're here, and thank you very much. Let's go. Miss Johnson's out front. We're going to go get tacos right after this. Tuesday tacos. I love you, baby girl. She's on there doing everything. Jim, as always, I'm glad you're here. How's the weather in Vermont right now? It's probably cold. You're going to want to get to Florida. Mark J., thank you very much, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Ralph Stevens, you're the best. And Danny Schultz. Danny, you are my hero, my friend. Thank you very much. Mr. Danny always cleans up the range. He thinks that's his job. It's not really his job. It's Jacob's job. Jacob always says Danny's making him look bad, but Jake's not doing anything about it. He's going. Jake's not feeling well tonight, and Danny showed up and got it all cleaned up for us. And God bless you, Danny. God bless you and your family. You are the best, my friend. And Jim says, I asked him how the weather was. He says, cold. You're going to enjoy Orlando. I promise you that, buddy. Have you been there before? I hope you have. If not, there's a lot of stuff to do there. Yeah. If you get a chance, get a Gatorama. That Gatorama is pretty cool. There's a bunch of stuff you can do at the Gatoramas there. A little ride out of Orlando. It's in Kissimmee more than it's Orlando, but it's got a bunch of alligators, a bunch of crocodiles, especially a Florida resident has seen a bunch of stuff. Someone from up there wouldn't see them. Awesome, awesome stuff. All right, so being that said, we're going to drop the video, and we are going to mention two things for you. One last thing is here is our website in case you want to book one of our classes in your local here. And don't forget to hit the bell icon, the like and subscribe button. And every time we upload a video just like this, you guys will be the first to know. Until next time, guys, God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line defense. Guys, I love you. I'm going to send you off with a kiss. There we go. And let's play that intro video for me. Bum, 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 bum. In. See you.